Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Candid with Candice. If you are new here, I am Candice O Beauty. I am a beauty and lifestyle educational influencer and content creator. My motto is do the most, be the most, but I try to teach you how to do the most with the least in beauty and beyond. I'm gonna jump in, and I start out with some favorites or like current things that I'm trying, that I'm liking, because we still gotta get this beauty content in first, right? Right. So some new things that I've been, or like new to me, or have consistently been giving me joy throughout the week. I guess I only have 4 things, right? Okay, so I did share on my stories the other day that I'm trying a new concealer. And if you know me, you know that I normally, Old Faithful, one of my holy grails, is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Caramel. But I was out and I didn't have time to run to Ulta because it's not around the corner anymore. But I went to CVS and I was like, let me see what I can grab really quick. And I'm trying out the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. And I'm really digging it. I've already worn it like 5 times since I got it on Friday. I am enjoying it. It's really, really creamy. The coverage is really, really good. It sets really, really well and easily with just a little bit of translucent powder. I haven't been having a lot of creasing. But I will tell you right now, even your creasing, your eyes move, so that's not something you can avoid. You can do as much as you can to minimize it, but you'll never be able to stop creasing. I'm sorry, they just move. But I'm really, really enjoying that, and for it to be only $13, I think that's awesome, as opposed to my $26, $27 NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. The only thing I will say is NARS has a much smaller doe foot applicator as opposed to this one, which is much larger. I can still do what I need to do, but it's just larger. The other thing, I have never been a lash primer girl. I always just do 2 different types of mascara. I always double up with a volume mascara and a lengthening mascara. I do length on top and bottom, and then I go in with volume on the top to give me a more, Dominic, get out of here, to give myself a more doe-eyed, doll baby effect. So I started using a lash primer, and I'm obsessed. I never really used one, not to say that I didn't see the need for it, but I have naturally long lashes on the top and the bottom already. So even when I just regularly put mascara on the bottom, it looks like I put false lashes on the bottom, but I don't. So I've been using a lash primer, and this is the Chanel La Base. This was gifted to me. Would I have probably purchased it? No, but this was gifted to me for an event I did back in January, I think. The event I did with Saks. Humble brag. But I have been using it, and I think I am stuck on a lash primer now. I don't think I'll ever not use one again. And it still comes off very easily when I do my makeup routine, my skincare routine in the evening to take all of my makeup off. But definitely starting with a cleansing balm first to break it down, and then go in and I'll double cleanse, and then it gives me what I need. The next thing that I'm loving, we know that I am obsessed with my L'Occitane almond shower oil, but I ran out and I didn't order a new one because I don't think they carry them inside of all Sephora's anymore, so I think I would have had to order it online. Yes, I could order from L'Occitane, but I want my points from Sephora. I'm one of those people that still cares about it because give me free things. Well, it's not free, but you know what I mean. I want things. But I was desperate and I got a new Love Scrub, my Mesh Body Exfoliator, and I needed a new shower gel because I was like, this bar soap life is not it for the kid. So Oh, and my mom just came in. Hi, Mom. So, perfect segue. I have completely turned into my mother, that I am like a marketer's dream. If it says new, I want to try it. I want to try it now. I am sold on all of the things. I think I'm falling for buzzwords now, things that resonate with me and make me feel good. So I have been using the Olay Cleansing and Nourishing Shower Gel with hyaluronic acid. It is divine. This in conjunction with my Love Scrub, my skin has, it's back to its original glory. I was without my Love Scrub for over a month when I moved somehow. And Mom, I don't know how I lost it, because Mom, you literally sat there and watched me put it in a plastic bag, and I was like, I cannot lose this. And I lost it. So I had to go order another Love Scrub. My skin is just giving what needs to be gave. She's glowing, and this shower gel is body wash, because it's everything, and it smells amazing. My skin feels super nourished and hydrated, even if I don't put lotion on right away when I get out. Love it. And then the last thing that I have to share that I'm loving right now, y'all know I'm panini pressed. My Steve Madden Kenleys. I'm obsessed with my Kenleys. Clearly, I got the citron ones first. I've been waiting for months because they weren't in my size. Then they were sold out. And then as soon as I knew that they felt good, I immediately went and ordered another pair. And I think I might get 2 more. I think I want the chocolate brown ones and the black ones as well, because I am that girl. I'm a simple girl. And when something fits and it rocks, I gotta catch them all like Pokemon. And I need every color. I am like that with cardigans, tees, shirts, my Fabletics leggings. If I like it, I'm one in every color, okay? Make it easy for me. But I did get a lot of DMs about them. The comfort level, yes, they are comfortable. I honestly am a Madden girl through and through. Like, this is not just some like hashtag Madden girl. Are they true to size? They are true to size. I'm an 8.5, have been since high school, and I ordered an 8.5, and they are straight up, they're perfect. I have a very high arch. My foot is pretty narrow. I have a very high arch, and I have long toes, and they are perfect, and they are comfortable. I have been out in them both times, like the three or four times I've already worn them. I've been out hours. Well, okay, some of y'all and close friends saw it. She was in the club dancing in these all night, pumping through the city, bar hopping brunch to brunch. Mind your business, I'm vaccinated and I still wear a mask. But they're very, very comfortable. But I am a Madden girl through and through. 90% of the time, or probably even 95% of the time, if you see me wearing heels, they're probably Steve Madden. And they have been for the last 10 to 15 years. I have a few that I need to replace that Chloe ate up last year in her prime puppy phase. But booties, most times I am a Steve Madden girl. I used to be a BCBG girl. And then I kind of transitioned to some Jessica Simpson heels for a while. But then I learned, I don't know if it stayed that way, but there definitely was a point that Jessica Simpson actually sold her name to BCBG. So that made sense why I was drawn to her shoes for a while, because she technically wasn't designing them, BCBG was. So there's that. But got away from those, and I'm a Madden girl for most heels. I do tell myself I don't want to say like big girl shoes, but like I do have a pair of purple Jimmy Choo shoes, and I've probably worn them like twice. But those are all the products that I have to share, things that I'm digging right now. But today's topic for the Candid with Candice is expired friendship. So I feel like I need to preface this conversation by saying, one, we are doing Candid with Candice. You are having this conversation with me. How I see friendships and how I deal with friendships may not be the way you see friendships or you deal with friendships. You are here because you want my opinion and you're asking me questions on how I deal. I will just say, because people have told me before, I am weird or I am different or something because I don't have sisters. I am the oldest of 3 children and I only have brothers. So I feel like I just deal with things differently. So the way some people may have a little more tolerance for drama and platonic friendships, I definitely don't. Okay? I definitely treat things maybe like more like a man or more like a boy in that sense. I literally just don't have time, or 99% of the time, if you had an issue with me, I probably didn't even notice unless you told me, because I never have any smoke. So listen, so Ty, it's actually funny that you said that, because when I put up the questions, like, does anybody have any questions about it? One of my best friends was like, fade the black on them bitches and just keep moving. Because that's actually how I deal. Like, I don't have time. And anybody that's in here who knows me knows that's exactly what I do. Okay, so someone's question, one of the questions was, do I address a situation or do I just walk away from it all? Honestly, I feel like that's kind of like a little bit layered, right? Because for me, when I first posed the question, or like the topic of, like expired friendships, I wasn't completely coming from the lens of someone did something or something happened, because sometimes things just naturally just fade, right? I have some friends where we were probably like thick as thieves in college, or like thick as thieves, after college. Whether you met somebody at work or whatever it is, right? I just feel like there's phases, and everyone's in different phases and different stages. And sometimes they literally just fade and there's no smoke. Like, we literally just don't speak every day anymore. And that every day goes to months, and sometimes it just fades. Personally, I don't take it personally. I'm not immediately thinking, why did someone not say something to me? Why is someone not reaching out? I'm not thinking about it in that way. Life be lifing. We are in different stages. Whether someone is focusing on their children or focusing on their career, if they don't have the time or the energy or whatever it is, I just don't take it personal. Does that mean, if I haven't talked to you in 6 months and then you pop up and you hit me up, I'm not going to speak to you? No, because there was no smoke. Oh my gosh, what's up? We can completely talk like nothing's happened. That is one thing for me as far as friendships fading. Sometimes it just fades. And again, there's no smoke behind it. You just don't. If I see you out, I'm going to speak like there's no smoke. Now, ending a friendship, a breakup, and something has happened or someone made you feel a way, do I address it or do I just walk away from it all? It depends. And like Ty said earlier, you know which ones to hold on to and try to fix, and you know which ones just, it don't even matter. For me, I don't always address things. And I know I've shared this before. I don't always address things because I know a lot of times people are projecting their own things. They're projecting their own traumas, their own experiences, and in how they treat me or how they speak to me. While it may be annoying, I do not take it personal, but I can choose not to deal. So sometimes I will just not say anything and just adjust how I deal with a person. I'm not going to talk to you as much. I'm not going to talk to you about certain things or something like that. Nah, we'll establish a boundary and I will let somebody know something. Like if I am completely bothered by something, I will let you know, because I want to give you that chance, because I know enough about myself that once I set that boundary and I tell you, and if you choose to be a habitual line stepper past that point, then I ain't got shit for you. And then I'm literally just going to fade to black without explanation, because I told you what the boundary was. Right? So, do I always address it? No. Sometimes I don't always think there's a need to. I'll just shift how I deal with you and in what capacity I deal with you. But I have had instances where people have tried me and then I'm really confused, because I'm like, I told you what the boundary was in this friendship, what my personal boundary is. And if you choose not to respect that, you gotta go. So in those instances, I will fade to black. Now, if you come back and then you want an explanation, I literally will point you in the direction, sometimes with a list of where you had me fucked up at. And I literally have done that. I literally bulletized list. Since you're here, I'm gonna let you know literally let me count all the ways you had me fucked up. And you tell me which one you didn't know about, because you knew what the boundary was. So, if my boundary is, I'm not here for the messy gossip. If you keep coming to me with everybody else's business, I don't got time for it. If I specifically do not speak to you about something and you're going around saying things about me to other people, I don't have time for it. If you can't mind your own business, your own relationship, your own waistline, your own edges, your own man, I don't have time. And I will tell you that. And if you cross those lines, you gotta go. 'Cause I just don't have time for that at all. My mom says we need a friendship agreement like Sheldon. Listen, I have friends who do friend contracts. Listen, and that's that is my biggest one. If they are gossiping about everybody else, one, not only are you gossiping about me, two, you were doing that to deflect from your own shit. Go worry about your nigga. Go worry about your edges. Go worry about your waistline. We are not in high school. I didn't do that in high school, and I'm not doing it now. Period. I literally don't want to know people's business. Do I know people's business? Like, if you choose to share something with me, yeah, like, of course, then I know your business. I'm not going out looking for nobody's business. Example, I'm out on Friday with my girlfriend. We had a nice little girlfriend date, and we ended up sitting at this table with this couple. We literally were just like, can we just sit here? We're not trying to encroach on your table. And they were like, oh, sure, like, come sit with us. It literally was just this woman and her boyfriend or her husband, and they were just sitting at the table. Okay, they got bottles and everything. We were not trying to partake. Her man was in a sling. Okay, it's a natural thing. You want to be like, oh, what happened? My girlfriend actually leaned over to ask what happened. I literally sat back and didn't even realize. I turned my ears off because I didn't ask and she wasn't talking to me. So then later, my girlfriend goes to say, hey, and she was like, oh, well, and I was like, nah, I don't know what happened to him. And she was like, but I leaned over and I asked. And I was like, and I leaned back because she wasn't talking to me. She was talking to you. My girlfriend laughed and she was like, yo, you really just don't want to know nobody's business. I don't want to know nobody's business. I literally was sitting right next to this woman. And she leaned over to tell my girlfriend what happened to her man. And I literally shut off because to me, it wasn't my business. I did not ask you directly. I didn't want it. I just don't want to know people's stuff. I really don't. And I don't. Oh, and another thing, another one of my boundaries, in friendships, I don't do he said, she said. If you didn't see with your own eyes, if you didn't hear with your own 2 ears, don't come to me with shit. information overload is real, and I can't. And I also, like, me being an empath, I have to be very, very careful of all the energy that I absorb, and I get overwhelmed really, really quickly, and I get overstimulated. So if it's just you telling me other people's stuff, and then on top of you dumping your own stuff on me, and I am just like, this is the most soul-sucking thing ever. And I can't. That's the thing. I think that's the other thing that bothers me when people want to dump and talk about other people, because I feel like most times they're coming from a judging lens if you want to talk about someone else's situation. And, you know, like the grannies and the old folks will tell you, child, don't ever say never. Keep living. So when people act like something can't happen to them or it'll never happen to them, yeah, okay. Yeah, as granny will say, keep living. You don't know. You never know people's situation, or you're judging from your perspective, your lens, and like your own trauma or things like that, your own experiences, right? So for me, while I may not understand something, I don't understand it because that's not my experience and that's not my story. So I don't ever want to hear like, that's why as soon as I hate when someone be like, couldn't be me, because it ain't been you yet, bitch. It very well could be, or will be. You don't know, okay? So for me, I don't like to come from a judgy place. I feel like there's a difference of not understanding versus being judgmental. I have had friends who have come to me in a judgy way before, and I sat quiet and I didn't say nothing, but I kept mental notes. And then when they circle back, when they circle the block for the, oh, I'm sorry, I get it now, I judged you for XYZ. Yeah, and I'm not here to even say I told you so. You kept living, right? And that shit spun the block and hit you. We can talk. I'll still be there to talk to you about it, but I can't do like the super duper judgy. Baby, them tables turn, okay? And karma always spins the block, okay? It was a quote I learned, I want to say like in undergrad. It was like, karma is the ultimate equalizer. And baby, yes it is. Let's see. I did touch on this a little bit, how to introduce and enforce boundaries. Just like when I talked about last week, you know, setting boundaries with toxic parents. It's no difference than setting boundaries with your friends. The first thing you have to do is to verbalize it. 1, verbalize it. And just like last week, 2, you're going to have to reiterate it. And then 3, just like treating them, you know, the same way you would discipline a child. There needs to be consequences. So if it's, I'm not going to talk to you, I'm not going to speak to you, and not in like a childish, petty way, but just setting that boundary. Like, no, I'm not answering the phone. No, I'm not going to respond to the text. And another way for me, enforcing the boundaries, this one was actually kind of, this was difficult for me for a while because I'm funny as shit. And I will find a joke in anything and everything. I will make a joke about anything and everything. And probably at times that people think are the most inappropriate times, I'm laughing or finding a reason to laugh. And there was a point where I was too passive in, especially like if it was like via text or something like that. Bitch, ain't no LOL at the end. I'm not softening anything that I said. I meant that shit. I meant it. Hey, I didn't find that funny. I would prefer you not say that. You gotta just say it. So for me, I have to be very clear with it so they know I'm not playing, because I do play and joke a lot. But just like those memes be like, oh, all my friends think I'm funny, but I am, but I don't be playing all the time. I'm not playing all the time. But I don't want to come off as overly sensitive or nasty or anything like that, but trying to find that balance. A statement or a question, but she wants to know, like, you know, when it's relatives, you know, relatives are your chosen, you know, they can be your chosen friends, but when it's over, you know, you're still connected by DNA. Mom, I know you were not in the live last week, and I don't know if I cut that part out when I posted it, but you know my sentiments. No one is exempt. No one is exempt from you setting boundaries, or just because we cousins, like, yes, you are. Like I shared before, like, I am not close with a lot of my family. Like, I don't hang out with my cousins. Me and my cousins don't kiki on the phone. Like, I don't even know the last time we had a family reunion like that. I may see people. So for me personally, nobody is exempt. No one is exempt from my boundaries, blood or any other bond. Because friends are chosen family. I call my friends parents, mom. Some of my closest friends are like my sisters. So blood or not, I don't think it matters. Listen, yes. Celeste says, no one is exempt. I love your connection to me, but I can and will do so from afar. My boundaries are my boundaries. Absolutely. Like, child, if it gets to a point where I just see you at Thanksgiving or the family cookout and that's it, yeah, we don't have to kiki no more. Y'all don't gotta go to no more cabarets together. Y'all don't gotta go across the Bay Bridge and get crabs. Like, it don't matter. I don't care if we share DNA, the same last name, the same granny, or whatever. I don't care. Mom, the replay will be up on YouTube by tomorrow. Listen, Trisha says, I'm starting with my family and they don't know how to handle it. Of course they don't know how to handle it. Because most people feel like they have to give their family that pass. And, I mean, honestly, when you think about it, the people who do set the boundaries, those are the most times the people that your family talks shit about. And it's like every time I see those memes, they be like, oh, I can't, I'm transitioning to the auntie that don't ever come around no more. That's me. Because I don't have time. And I'm like, I always identify with, like, honestly, my mom's sister, she'll never come around. And everybody always want to give her shit. And that's my mom. Every time they talk about it, and I'm like, and I wouldn't either. I can't wait till I come around y'all. Because y'all get on my nerves. Let people protect their peace how they want to. Period. And it is what it is. Let's see. We have another question. This one says, how to break up with a friend who puts forth no effort. Easy. You match the effort. You don't put none in either. Voila. So, I don't know your name. I would love to address you by your name, but Southern Elevation Consulting says it's hard not to get your feelings hurt when you see efforts with others. All right. So, here's what I will say about that. Again, coming from me, you're asking me. Okay, Brianna. So, Brianna, coming from me and just my experience, right? I am someone who most of my friends would probably consider a floater. I don't have one set group of friends. I have different pockets of friends. I've always been a floater and just drifted, and this group is for this group is for that, right? And I feel like most women have different pockets of friends. Whether you're a mom, and this is the mom pocket of friends. And then you have the pocket of friends that are probably based around your career. Then you have maybe like just the college pockets of friends, right? They don't always mix. With me being the floater, probably like over the last 10 years, a lot of times I have found myself in a pocket of friends where I was like the last one or the newest one in the group. And there are times, I get invited out, and then there are times when I am not. There are people that are more close inside of that group, and then there are people who are not. And not like in a way to disparage myself. I found a lot of times, or felt a lot of times, that I may have been like the auxiliary member of multiple groups simultaneously. And when I find myself in those situations, because I do float and not all of my friends group mix or mesh well or whatever it is, I personally just never take anything personally when I'm not invited. One thing about me, if you do not personally invite me, I'm not coming. And I don't feel no type of way about it. Whether you forgot to invite me, whether I was not at the top of your mind, whether you know someone who may not like me, but you didn't feel the need to address it, and we're just not mixing vibes, I don't even need to know the answer. If I am not personally invited, I am not coming. And if I am not included, I don't feel any type of way. It's not to say that I don't notice. And even when I do notice, I still don't care. Like, my mom will tell you, she will ask me, oh, you going to so-and-so? No. Oh, but everybody else knows about it. Yeah, I know about it too. I did not get a personal invite. I'm not going. Period. And I'm not that person that's going to, oh, why I ain't get an invite or anything like that. I can't be bothered to care or take it personal. Sometimes you just never know. Like, for example, if I'm invited to your birthday every year, but then a friendship is just naturally just fading, I don't want to make the assumption that I'm being invited to your birthday this year, because if that is something that you take more seriously, and that is that's personal to you, and if we have been falling off, I don't know what the fuck you've been going through this year, because we have not been keeping in contact. And if you only want to bring people with you to your new year, your personal new year, and I'm not included this time, child, that's fine. But I will say, if something does really bother you about you no longer being included, if you're feeling some type of way, and if you feel that you have not done anything wrong, or if you're not sure if you've done something wrong, then ask. Kind of like in line with the conversation I had last week when we were talking about forgiveness without an apology. I kind of want to say the same thing about when you feel like you're being excluded by your friends. I think that's one of those things where you kind of have to sit and ask yourself why you want to be included so bad, or why does it matter if you're not included, right? Because if we're asking ourselves, like, even if we're talking about forgiveness without an apology, you got to sit there and ask, why do I want or feel that I need the apology that bad? And then I feel like that kind of goes in line with, when you're included versus when you're not included. If you have a visceral reaction to not being included and not being a part of something, I think sometimes it's good to sit with yourself and really, really ask again. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Nikara. That shadow work and that childhood trauma. Because you gotta literally sit there and figure out why you have that visceral reaction. Why is that a trigger of you being excluded? And when you sit with that and like fully figure it out, and you tap into that and deal with that shadow sitting behind you, like, damn, why am I triggered by not being included? I think sometimes it helps to see from a different person's lens, or for you to just not take it personal. Yes, Bianca, you have to sit with it to move through it. And a lot of those things, sometimes we don't know, and that's why you have to sit there. And that's why I say, sometimes you got to sit there in silence by yourself, do a lot of things by yourself. And when you reemerge, you have a better understanding of how you navigate and how you deal with people, how you want to deal with people, how you want to be dealt with. And the self-work is so important, because it's like, is it a codependent thing? Is it I'm running from my own traumas and I can't sit by myself, so I always got to be included? Is it that I was always excluded when I was a child and I just want to be in the mix? Like, you got to figure that. I think you need to figure that out as well. Like, why do you care about not being included and things like that? Feelings aren't weak. That takes courage. Oh yeah, it absolutely takes courage. But the other thing about feelings, especially if you superficially just feel the feeling but don't necessarily address it, because like without doing shadow work and figuring out the childhood trauma and why you even feel that way and why you're triggered, your feeling feels like a fact. And like my therapist said, she was like, you're believing the lies that you're telling yourself, because that's not the truth of the situation. That's a lie. You know, whether you're like, oh, no one likes me, that's a lie. Or, you know, I'm always left out, that's a lie. I'm not lovable, lie. I'm not capable, fucking lie. But you're believing the lies that you're telling yourself. But you don't know that that's a lie, because your lens is how you felt you've been treated. Your lens is your response to how you've been, how you feel, how your experiences have made you feel. But that's not the truth. So you got to sit there, go through it, and like literally, you have to like, I've been trying to do like in journaling now, I've been trying to do more prompts. And I was talking to a good girlfriend of mine, you know, and she was talking about, she was like, you know, like when you journal, like, what are you doing? Because she was like, I'm tired of feeling like I'm doing like this, like just like this Dear Diary shit. And I was like, I totally understand that. And I've started doing prompts and like really, hey Jessica, like really starting to dig in and like really ask myself these questions. You know, journaling is great and it can be cathartic to like get it out and say how I feel without feeling like you're talking to too many people. Sometimes I wasn't always feeling relieved in journaling, because I felt like, yeah, I was dumping it out, but what was the answer? Nikar says suggestions for prompts, journals. So to be very honest, sometimes like it's simple as going on Pinterest and looking up journal prompts and like say journal prompt, you know, for healing, or a journal prompt for like whatever it is that you're trying to do. You'd be surprised. There's actually a lot of good questions to really sit down and ask yourself. Or if I am reading some sort of like self-help book or something like that, and like it asks a question, and I know that's something I need to probably dig deeper into, I literally will go to the side and write that question down, like either in the notes app on my phone, or I literally will write it inside my journal. And like I'm trying to do a thing where like either it's like each week or maybe each day, like maybe like pick a theme like for the week, or and then have different questions each day, or maybe just ask myself a question like once a week and then try to work through that you know, myself. I'm trying to focus my journaling so it's not just this Dear Diary, today was good or today was a bad day, because I felt like if I was having, you know, a not so stellar day, I didn't really feel encouraged after the end of dumping that on paper. Like, yeah, I got it out, but I didn't feel like I was getting anything back or getting any answers. So I'm really trying to focus on picking something, or like sometimes it's as small as if I was triggered by something. So say like I'm trying to rephrase how I'm, you know, speaking to myself. So if I were to be triggered by something that day, like if something happened that maybe quote unquote made it like a bad day, and I was triggered by something, I really tried to work through the trigger. Literally saying I was triggered by, asking myself why was I triggered by, like what was the root, and like just walking it backwards. Brianka says Heart Talk, the journal by Cleo Wade, is a good one with journal prompts. Ooh. You know, because I think for me, just in general, kind of like just like recap, like if anybody came in a little later, we're talking about expired friendships, just how we deal, addressing, grievances and things like that. But, for me, I just come from a more, bye Celeste, thanks for coming. For me, I just tend to come from a more detached space. I come from a space of being a floater, or, feeling like, I'm an auxiliary friend member. I don't think that makes me any less of a friend to somebody. But people just go through different stages and phases. And I feel like if there are any takeaways, if you feel wronged and you care about the friendship, say something. When it comes to setting boundaries with your friends, it's always, you need to first verbalize it, you need to reiterate it, and then you need to enforce it, period. And sometimes people just don't stand the test of time, and sometimes friendships just fade, and like there's no smoke, there's nothing behind it. We just grow apart. I think the one thing we didn't talk about or address, and this is one that I have a hard time with, and I'm surprised no one asked the question, is because it's one thing when they expire, it's another thing when someone has done something to you. But I did have a conversation with my girlfriend and her boyfriend maybe like a month or so ago about when you feel like you've outgrown them. And sometimes I have a hard time, I'm just going to admit, I do have a hard time with that, when you feel like you've outgrown someone, because sometimes it makes me feel like you're trying to put yourself on levels. And again, I don't necessarily like doing that, because life be lifing. Life comes at you fast. And shit changes quick, right? So I don't like, for example, if you feel you need to, I've outgrown this person because, I make 6 figures now and they still don't. Well, girl, you one layoff from making no figures. You see what I'm saying? So like, I don't necessarily, I have a hard time when people are just saying like they've outgrown a friendship. Like, I understand the feeling of feeling as though you have outgrown someone, but I feel like that's still a little layered. Like if you're saying you've outgrown someone off of what I may consider like something superficial, yeah, I think that's a little messed up, because karma gonna circle the block and you're gonna find yourself in a situation, and like they always say, keep living. And one thing about them tables, they do turn. I can understand when it's outgrowing a mindset. Like, I can understand, like, I understand we all go through our things, but sometimes I do feel that it's like, all right, girl, like, you're still handling things the same way. Mindset and beliefs. Your core beliefs are not, I'm not talking about just like, you Muslim and I'm not, like, I don't care about that. Like, none of that. You vegan, I'm not worried about that. But there are certain lifestyle things where I'm probably outgrowing you. And I think maybe kind of like no, I don't even want to say that. I was going to say like maybe like the only shady thing is like if you don't want to travel the way I travel or eat the way I eat, like, but that's something different.